Landmines and jellyfish, welcome back to Knives, I guess, and my second stripper name is Girth Brooks. So, we're going to try this, we're going to record this while I put together this Monikala that I just flame treated, and see how this goes, because I don't know whether or not I can stay focused on talking and doing this, but we're going to try it. So, I'm going to move the exposed blade over here. First things first is I need to get the detent ball back in here. And this is really cool. I didn't know they do this, but the detent ball is on a little bitty piece like this. So that'll go in here like so. And it's seated, so I've got a very tiny screw here to put in. And while I'm doing this, why don't we do story time? So back when I was a kid in that neighborhood that I was living in, I think I was like 15 years old maybe. I had a bedroom and the door went right to the front yard. So you can only begin to imagine the kind of shenanigans that I got into with that much access to the outside world at that age. It was kind of nuts. And one of my favorites is I was sitting there minding my own business with a buddy of mine and one of our other friends. And my buddy's fraternal twin brother. He shows up out of nowhere. He's pounding on my door like he's the police. And we open the door up, and I see him standing there, and he's looking like he is completely out of breath, like he's been running from somebody. And I'm like, oh no, is this a fight that I have no way to help with? And he's like, guys, I just caught this big effing rat. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I caught this big effing rat, dude. And I still didn't fully understand what he was talking about. So, like, I tried to get him to elaborate a little bit more. He's like, yeah, I caught this big effing rat. It's up at the laundromat right now. And I'm like, okay, so you caught a rat. How is it sitting at the laundromat right now? I don't understand what's happening. And the laundromat was probably about a good 25-minute walk away next to his apartment complex where him and his brother and his dad stayed. And so, out of morbid curiosity, I go out there, and we're planning on catching this rat. So I grab one of those gym bags they put basketballs in that they throw out so that the PE teachers don't have to actually do any work. You just play basketball all day. And we start walking up there, and it takes a good 25-30 minutes for the three of us to reach that spot. And we look, and in a trash can, there's this rat that, I kid you not, is the better part of 3 feet from the tip of the nose to the tip of the tail. It was larger than my cat, and that was a pretty big tomcat. So I tips the trash, like I tried to stretch the gym bag all the way over the top of the trash can, and we tipped it over and slapped the side, and somehow the rat got out from under it. And so my buddy, they caught him initially, CJ, he takes his shirt off, throws it down on the rat, steps on it, grabs it, and slam dunks it in the bag that we're carrying. And so we get it in the bag, and we are walking back to my house from that laundromat. We're almost home. We are within eye shot of my house. And suddenly a police car pulls up behind us. So I am holding this bag, and I realize I have no way to explain this to the police. So I does what any smart man would do. I drop down into the tree line and dip out into a field out of eye shot of the police cruiser, because it is about 4 in the morning, and there's a curfew of, I think, midnight or 11 o'clock for anyone under 18. And I knew we were out past curfew, and that was going to be a problem if we got brought back to the house by the police, because while it's very hard to wake my dad up, once you got him woke up, that was kind of game over for you. The rest of your day was screwed. He's not a bad person. It's just, like anybody, I wouldn't want to be woke up at 4 a.m. with the cops bringing my kid home with a giant rat in a bag. So the cops drive off. They told him just to go home, and they said that's what they were doing. I think they told him they walked up to his apartment to get some medication or a video game or something. But I run, and I finally catch back up to them. They kind of left me hanging there. And, sorry, this isn't on camera. But we get to my house, and the garage is open. There's no door on the garage. It just stands open. So we go in the garage, and I've got this old, like, 30-gallon fish tank or something like that sitting on the workbench in the garage. I don't even know where I got it or why I had it. But we put the rat in there. And my buddy Corey, not the sharpest egg in the attic, went to go feed the rat a piece of cheese when I wasn't looking. And it bit him and cut his pinky open from the tip to the very back. It got him good. And So I take this aquarium across the street to the baseball field, just flip it over and slap it and send the rat on his way. 'Cause it's like, yeah, we don't need people getting hurt off of this thing. And that was the last we saw of that thing. It's just, that was kind of one of those stories like, you never had to run from the cops with a rat in a bag, have you? Which is where that one cold open goes. But, you know, it's stuff like that used to happen all the damn time. Like I said, it's just, the bedroom door went straight to the front yard, so there was just so much room for activities. And, you know, that's kind of one of those, like, I tell the story better when I'm not focusing on other stuff, obviously. But, you know, staring at me putting a knife back together after I blasted it in a fire isn't necessarily the most exciting thing on the planet. So I've got the stop pin in, I've got the blade back on, the bearings are seated, I've got my 3 standoffs. I think we're good to go with this. Now, one problem I had with this taking it apart is these fits are stupid tight. Like, they are ridiculously tight. It took some force to get it apart. So I'm going to have to really finagle this to get it back together again, which I'm not a huge fan of, but, you know, it happens. So I'm going to get this pivot cap on here so that doesn't move. And come on, buddy. Come on. Ah, Dukes. There we are. But yeah, I can't think of any other stories at this exact moment to keep you entertained further while I'm holding you hostage. But, let's see, will this move? Yeah, it still moves pretty freely. I'm going to have to lubricate everything because, of course, blasting it in fire dried every last drop of oil up in this thing completely. But there we are. Sweet! All right, we're making progress, folks. I have got one missing screw somewhere, which I think is actually the screw. Okay, I see what's happening here. So one of the screws for the barrel spacer also goes through the pocket clip. So I was looking at this going, how did I lose a screw? Come on, people. So we're almost there, guys. We're almost there. But, you know, again, don't worry about working on your own stuff. It's fun. I tried the little butane torch, and it wasn't going nearly fast enough to heat this thing up, and I burned up over half of it and just kind of grayed out the butt end of this thing. So I took it over to the forge, and I kind of sprayed an entire, like the whole thing, a much larger area, but I heated it up much more slowly and much more carefully. So I got to kind of purple and tan out the whole thing instead of just burning one end up and having a little bit of color spread to the center. So this was definitely an experiment that, you know, I got a result, and it was a better result than last time, although it's not exactly what I was hoping to do. But I think I need to get like a matte gas torch or something with a nice small rosebud style flame and, you know, put some serious heat on one small area and work it, because, like, I was still able to touch this thing for about 1/18 of a second, and it was hot, but it didn't burn me whenever I got everything finished up with the little, the little butane torch. There we are. So let's get some oil down in this thing. I'm going to be pretty liberal with the oil. If I got to spread it around with a paper towel, I will. Because everything's back together, it works, but, oh boy. Okay, so it sounds a lot like it did earlier. It's working, although I'm not 100% sure whether or not it just needs more time for the oil to get in the parts, but I may also need to tighten something up. Let's see. So we're not... So I think it sounds like it did earlier. I'm pretty sure it does. But this is what we got. So I'm going to upload this video, and then I'll do a little bit better look at it and try to get some better angles on this whenever this is done uploading. But this is what I got, and I know the lighting's not perfect enough to truly capture this. I want it to, but it's not cooperating. So let's see if we move this around a little bit. Yeah, that's showing some more of the color right there. But you got a lot of purple. Like, this is really nice and purple right here. A lot of good color on it, and I guess I'll have to post a picture as a follow-up, because, wow, create a post. The light's just not getting this at all. That's some better results. Yeah, you can kind of see now. It's really purpled out, and it's got some nice color to it, and the contrast with the rest of the steel and the barrel spacers and all that's not too shabby either. So I'm going to take this as a win. But that's what I got here. That's the end result of flame treating this thing. Like I said, I will share a picture if I can get better pictures as its own individual post. But all that being said, thanks for looking at my crap. Thanks for watching me put it back together. Remember, you never have to run from the cops with a rat in a bag. And all that being said, y'all have a nice day.